Hi students, I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to do the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats, and it is from your book Flamingo. So let's start. John Keats was born in London in the year 1795 and died in Rome in 1821 at the young age of 25 due to illness. His father, who had married his master's daughter, died in 1804 when Keats was only 9 years old. He was sent to a private school where he learned some Latin. He became an apprentice to a surgeon at the age of 15, but he left the medical profession because he was deeply interested in poetry. Keats was one of the most prominent poets of Romanticism, especially known for his love of the country and sensuous descriptions of the beauty of nature. His poetry also resonated with deep philosophical questions. Although Keats' poems were not generally well received by critics during his lifetime, his reputation grew after his death. So by the end of the 19th century, he had become the most beloved of all English poets. His poetic works contain an extensive range of poetic forms from sonnet to Spenserian romance to Milton epic. Background of the poem. This poem, A Thing of Beauty, is an excerpt from Keats' poem Endymion, a Poetic Romance. Endymion is an epic poem in English, beginning famously with the line, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Keats' poem makes use of allegory to signify the quest of the human soul for ideal beauty. An allegory is a literary composition in which the characters, places, and events have symbolic significance. Endymion is a Greek mythological character who lived in Mount Letmus. He was young and poetic. In his dream, he saw Cynthia, the moon goddess. She was a paragon of beauty, and Endymion was intensely enamored of her. The enchanted youth resolved to seek her out, and so he wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. So the poem is a test of his powers of imagination and invention. In the poem, the poet gives the idea that beautiful things are the source of great joy and happiness. A joy even in the midst of disease, sufferings, and disappointments of life. Beauty is something that has the ability to transform our lives. It has the ability to heal grief-stricken, depressed minds and energize exhausted, weak bodies. There is beauty in every single thing present on this earth. Everyone can live and experience the beauty of different things. But it is not necessary that beauty only means externally. Beauty exists internally as well. It can be present in humans, animals, plants, trees, food, or in any sentence, poem, or story, or any gift from a loved one, no matter how small or insignificant it may be. It is full of beauty for the recipient. A small task completed by a person with hard labor and work is full of beauty for that person. The sincere efforts made in order to accomplish and achieve something comprise of beauty, which of course becomes a joy forever. The existence of beauty does not have any limit. We should learn to see the beauty in everything, both internally and externally. Without beautiful things, the world is a grim, dark place and full of misery. It is beauty ultimately that makes us happy, and this happiness never fades away. Joy increases with the passing time as one recalls a thing of beauty. So the poem tells about how nature and its wonder captivate us and takes away all the sorrow that surrounds us from time to time. The setting of the poem starts by a portrait of a countryside scene of trees, rivers, flowers, shepherd, and sheep. Now, let's go through the main points of the poem. The beautiful things of nature are permanent source of joy and make our lives sweet. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. It does not pass into nothingness, but its beauty keeps on increasing. It gives us sound sleep and good health. The world is full of frustrations, disappointments, and dearth of noble people. These make our life gloomy and sad. But things of beauty remove the pall and sadness from our spirits. Nature is a constant source of happiness for human beings. The beautiful things are sheep, daffodils, clear streams, musk roses, and forest thickets. These things soothe and make us happy. Stories of heroes who have died in peace of war are also things of beauty and have a stimulating effect. But the beauties of nature are lovelier than all the lovely tales and are like the immortal drink from heaven. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence of the inhuman dirt, of noble natures of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching? Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils. With the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season, the mid-forest break. Rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of tombs. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, and endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. The poem A Thing of Beauty belongs to the romantic genre. It is written in run-on couplets and the rhyme scheme is AA BB. Now, the detailed explanation of the poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Here, joy means happiness. Loveliness means beauty. Never pass into nothingness. It means never reduced to nothingness. Its beauty goes on increasing. The pleasure a beautiful thing provides can be stored permanent in our hearts and minds. So this loveliness never fades away. Bower. Bower means garden, a shady place under a tree. Quiet. Quiet means silent, motionless. Quiet breathing. It means the sense of peace that one experiences on seeing beautiful things. Explanation. Anything beautiful, whether it's a beautiful face, beautiful spine, beautiful coat, beautiful gestures, beautiful act, beautiful moments of life, or any divine scenic beauty, always give us pleasure and joy. That is why beauty is a source of continuous joy, and this joy never fades away or passes to nothingness, but over the passage of time, its charm will increase instead of fading out or becoming insignificant. Life is full of simple, beautiful things, and when we experience beautiful things, we feel happy and store these pretty memories in our minds. But when we are not feeling so good, or feeling lonely or depressed. And we remember the beautiful things or sights that we have seen or experienced. These things make us happy and fill our heart with pleasure and delight. For instance, if we continuously observe a rose for 10 minutes, it gives us delight. We adore its beauty, love it, as it appeals to our heart and mind. And if that scene is remembered 20 times, the loveliness of its beauty multiplies each time we visualize it in our thoughts. It soothes our nerves, the joy becomes double. The joy becomes double. So, beauty is not for a specific period of time, instead, it is forever. With time, our love for the beauty present in the things increases. So, beauty is intransient and gives us the same pleasure again and again. Confrontation with a beautiful thing may be of a short duration, but its memory lasts for a long time and it leaves an indelible mark. Indelible means making marks that cannot be removed. So, beauty leaves an indelible mark on people's mind and provided one with eternal happiness, everlasting joy whenever one thinks of it. So, this thing of beauty will keep a bower for us. A bower is a pleasant and peaceful place under the shade of trees. So, beauty acts as a bower. It provides protection not only from the scorching heat of the sun but also from the heavy rainfall. For Keats, the world of beauty is nature, and the bounty beauties of nature captivate our mind and spirit, and we experience some rare moments in the lap of nature. Therefore, on every morrow, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth? Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Here, morrow means morning, every day. Wreath means arrange flowers into a bouquet. Flowery band, it means bouquet. Flowery band is also a symbol through which the poet reminds us of our duties towards Mother Earth. We are getting all sorts of things from nature, but are we doing something to protect our earth and nature? Spite, it means ill will. Despondence, it means sad, gloomy, and deprived of hope. Inhuman, it means wild, cruel. Dearth, dearth means absence, death, extinction. Noble natures, noble nature means moral values, good behavior, attitude, and character. Gloomy days means sad and dull days. Overdarkened, it means immoral, evil, or bad. Made for our searching, our preference for searching. In spite of all, it means in spite of all the above said crises. Shape of beauty, a beautiful something. Pall, it means cover, shroud, blanket. Dark spirits, it means sad and gloomy mind. Explanation. Keats stresses the inseparable connection of man with nature and earth. It is the beauty of nature that keeps us attached to this earth. Without beauty, our life becomes all dull and monotonous. This is the reason that every other day we pick flowers to prepare a flowery band, so that we feel connected and attached to the world around us. The band is made of all the lovely things which we see. It keeps us bound to the beauties of the earth, as we would otherwise feel hopeless, sad, and depressed. The pleasures and happiness that we find in small activities are the flowers which make our life beautiful. However, there are times in our life when we don't have flowers to make our bouquets. This is because we all possess evil qualities of hatred and disappointment and suffer from hopelessness and sadness. Our style of living often makes us hopeless and grim. We at times also suffer due to the self-centered and wicked nature of others. There is cruelty all around and lack of good-natured people. Habits of taking wrong ways to achieve something for happiness. So our life becomes sad, useless, bitter, and hopeless. So, in spite of all the troubles and sufferings, one can come back to life only if the pall is removed from the dead body. A thing of beauty helps remove the dark cloud that burden our souls. We are able to derive pleasure from our surroundings. The beautiful objects from nature help us shed our gloom, give us a glimmer of hope, and make us love life amidst of all troubles. So the beautiful things can make our soul pure and thoughts alive. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep and such are daffodils. With the green world they live in and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Explanation: God has bestowed several beautiful things upon us. The sun, both at the time of sunrise and sunset, which is the ultimate source of heat and energy. The moon and its magnificence in moon-blanched night, with millions of starry phases. The trees, whether old or young, sprawling their branches and providing shade and shelter to beings, are beautiful. Trees are no less than a boon for the mankind. Trees are the source of multiple benefits like medicines, timber, and source of soothing effect on our tired senses. If there is tormenting heat and parching sunshine in desert, there is the shade of trees as well. The simple sheep are human beings. The poet sympathizes with the innocence of the human beings. Keats sees the beauty in innocent humans, seeking solace in nature, and Mother Earth in its own way sprouts a shady abode of relief and consolation. The daffodils have a different kind of beauty. They bloom in the morning and wither and die in the evening. But even in that short period, they make their life meaningful by providing joy to the onlookers with their fragrance and beauty. The small streams and rivers get surrounded with plants, bushes, and trees, save themselves from the blazing heat of the sun. Beauty can be found even in the middle of the forest. The most fair and fragrant flowers can be found even among the wild bushes. In fact, beauty in one form or the other is all around us. All we need to do is to be more aware of it. And such too is the grandeur of the dunes. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read. an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. Grandeur of doom means the magnificence and inspirational vibes of the people who had sacrificed their lives for some noble cause. Mighty dead means the great people who laid their lives quite selflessly for the good of others. Endless fountain of immortal drink. It means ever flowing bounties and pleasure of life, which are no less than nectar. Though human beings have been given a mortal lifespan, however, there are innumerable things by which it can be lived immortally. Explanation. When we talk of beauty, it does not merely refer to the outward physical beauty, but also the inner beauty, the beauty of thoughts and intentions. This beauty can only be felt and sensed. The bravery of people, stories of sacrifice of our legendary heroes, great warriors, soldiers, saints who sacrificed their precious lives for the sake of their country or some other noble cause. Their great deeds can only be sensed. The literature as a whole, in the form of stories which we have heard by our elders or read in scriptures, fulfill the need of a companion on the one hand, and on the other hand inspire and enlighten us. Keats imagines that such people should be given due respect which they deserve on the judgment day. Through these great acts, those people live in forever. Their beautiful deeds have made them immortal, and they live in our minds. Their beauty is an inspiration to all of us. So beauty has a spiritual connect. Spiritual beauty is something nobler and higher than the physical beauty. It touches the soul. The poet feels that nothing can surpass the beauty of nature. It is gift to us. It flows down to earth from a fountain in heaven. It helps us live happily on earth in spite of difficulties, grief, and presence of malicious people. Malicious people means people who want to hurt us. The water flowing from the beautiful fountain is like an elixir of life that nurtures us, feeds us, and sustains us, lest we should be destroyed by grief, pain, and suffering. So, it's a never diminishing source of pleasure and delight, an endless fountain of joy that seems to be a precious gift from God. It makes life worth living. The poem is adorned with poetic devices like metaphor and symbols, and Keats has made liberal use of metaphors and symbols in the poem. And the list of all the beautiful things themselves are metaphors and symbols for beauty. The fountain of immortal drink is a metaphor for the source of spiritual beauty. Bower quiet refers to a quite shady part in the garden. Sweet dreams, happy dreams. Flowery band is a metaphor for earthly beauty. The grandeur of the dooms refers to the deeds of great men and women that have made them a source of inspiration for people of all times. Pall, a covering like a shroud. Now the next literary device is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of same sound. Noble natures. Cooling, covert. Band, to bind. Next is imagery. The poem contains a powerful image of earthly beauty, flowery bands to bind us to the earth, an image that creates a picture of the universal beauty. Shady boon, which creates a picture of comfort and respite on a hot summer afternoon. And so does description of clear rills that a cooling covert make. Daffodils in green world. sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms in the middle of the clearing in the forest provides a rich feast of colors for the eyes. Grandeur of the dooms, endless fountain of eternal drink. Now the next literary device is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet is when an adjective is transferred to a noun. So the examples of transferred epithet in the poem are gloomy days, unhealthy and overdarkened ways. Now the last literary device is oxymoron. It's a figure of speech in which two opposite ideas are joined to create an effect. And the example is mighty dead. There is a very beautiful message that all the beautiful things are like nectar for us. Beauty is permanent and it makes us forget the sorrows and sufferings of the world. Beauty brings positivity in our life and it has the power to remove darkness, problems, and negativity and helps us to survive in the difficult situations. So, we should never lose hope and still find positivity and beauty in things around us. This positivity makes us optimistic and gives us the courage to fight against all odds.